JJ. And today we have the lovely faces as always. Producer Justin, you're first on my list because you do the most important things. In corner number 2, we have someone who calls himself Podcast Pete, but I hate it every time. Justin, I'm sorry, bleep that out. I hate it every time. So we're just going to call him Pete. And then in corner number 4, we have Big Willie style, William Howard Sneed the Third.
Hey, that was pretty good, man. So I had JJ do the introduction. Besides dropping a dirty word, I thought that was pretty good, and you really brought the heat. So that's a good way to start the pod. JJ, seems like you've been having a lot of fun this week too. You downloaded this new game that the kids are all playing, right?
Call of Duty Warzone. I am 12 again. Last night, I played Call of Duty for 6 hours, and I ate pizza rolls, and I felt like I literally was in middle school again.
That's awesome.
It was great. The only downside, and I forgot this was ever a thing because I used to be this kid, I keep, these young kids, 12, 13-year-olds, keep calling me a bleep that one too, Justin. They keep calling me that word. And it's really upsetting me. So I enlisted the help of Patrick Wicklander. He gave me a headset, and he's been coaching me. He coached me all afternoon yesterday. I got less curse words from 12-year-olds yesterday because mainly I hid in bushes. But it's been a really emotional, taxing week for me because I have a large ego, and I don't like when 12-year-olds call me.
So I don't know why chicken sucker doesn't even make sense as an insult, but I mean, first of all, I didn't know you had an ego, so that must be tough. It sounds like a really rough week.
Yeah.
Steve, how you been dealing with this whole thing?
I've not been playing Call of Duty. I've actually I left my Xbox down at JJ's place, and I had to go pick it up last week. So I've been playing a little Tiger Woods 12. I got to the PGA finally. Then I started playing some NCAA 14 again. Didn't win the Heisman my sophomore year, but I came close. I should have. Another Arkansas legendary running back snubbed from the Heisman contention again.
That's so rough, dude. I think it's funny how I was like, yeah, man, so what's up? And basically, I'm not going to say our ages because that's embarrassing, but we're at a certain age where we shouldn't be saying that we played video games this whole time. But basically what it sounds like is everyone's just played video games all week.
And
so
cried.
Congratulations, guys. And cried a little bit. Hey, guys, we have a guest on. So before I reveal who that is, what would you say? I know he's going to listen to this, so but on a scale of 1 through 10, how famous in our neck of the woods is this guest? JJ.
4.8.
4 point. You're not even gonna give him a 5?
Close.
All right. What about you, Steve?
I'll go a little higher than 4.8. I'll go 5.2.
All right. So he does this bracket every year where he rates all 64 of Arkansas media members, and somehow I find my way in there. So he's kind of
he dropped that bracket, and I got drunk and DM'd him on Instagram. I was like, WTF, Ty, thinking that I deserve to be on there.
So not even close, not yet. Maybe one day, young Padawan.
Nah, probably not.
But I'd say just based off of that, he's at least a 6. I'm gonna give him a 6.3, and it's gonna be a lot more in a couple of years because I think he's great at what he does. Let's go ahead and get to the interview with Ty Richardson of ESPN Arkansas. All right, everybody, we have our first ever celebrity guest on Beers on Heads podcast, and big thanks to my buddy Ty for hopping on. And every time I come on his radio show, he's got a really professional introduction for me because I guess that's his job. So I'm going to try that out right quick. We have ESPN Arkansas's Hit That Line, Ty Richardson, joining us today. Ty, how are you doing, buddy? Thanks for coming on, man.
Boys, I'm good. So I have this rule since I have to wake up every morning at 4:20 that I don't drink during the week.
Nice.
So on the Beers on Heads podcast, I will be drinking this in your guys' honor tonight.
Dude,
Let's go.
You literally have no idea how happy that makes me because I know how dedicated you are to your craft. But, I mean, it's part of the brand that you got to come on and drink a beer. So we appreciate you having a beer with us today, Ty. We're going to talk about a bunch of stuff, starting off with the NFL draft. That is tonight. So when this comes out, everything's going to be picked, but we're just going to go with the locks that we already know are going to happen. And we'll start with you, Ty, since you look like Joe Burrow's younger brother. How do you think Joe Burrow's going to be as an NFL quarterback? Presumably with the Bengals. If the Bengals don't draft him, that's crazy. But presumably with the Bengals, how do you think Joe Burrow's going to pan out?
I forgot what NFL guy was on Go Looking Wingo this morning, but potentially the Dolphins are trying to trade their 5th draft pick. They're trying to get a 3rd and then trade up for that number 1. Joe Burrow, I can't remember a quarterback that was as wanted. Joe Burrow's been this past season. It's kind of like the Heisman Trophy when he walked in. He was consensus going to win that award. I think it's been pretty consensus for the past month or so that he's going to be the number 1 pick in this NFL draft. He is unbelievable this year. Had like 77, 78 completion percentage. Had one of the best single seasons I've ever seen. It's an easy pick for me. The only thing people are really like critiquing him on is his not downfield ability, but his arm strength and his accuracy is going to more than make up for that. And I think he has a pretty successful NFL career.
JJ, you have any qualms about that?
No, I mean it makes sense. So like, Ty brought up a good point about him being like consensus Heisman and like number 1 pick. I don't remember someone being like this like solidified on both those since Cam. Like as far as like everyone knew that Cam was going to win the Heisman and everyone knew that Cam was going to be the first pick. It was just like a given. So I think I mean it almost like makes for not a very exciting draft because like the number 1 pick is like obviously the most hyped. Like who's going to be number 1, but we've known since probably like I don't know November or December that like Joe Burrow was going to be the number 1 pick.
And it's not only like that it's a consensus that he's going to be the number 1 pick. It's kind of a consensus that he's not going to be a bust by any means. You know what I mean? Steve, what are your thoughts?
Yeah.
Well, I just, Ty made a really good point. I thought about, arm strength isn't really everything. A lot of times I feel like the NFL gets locked in on that prototypical type of quarterback, and man, a lot of times, I mean, look at Jamarcus Russell, and I can think of several off the top of my head. The big arm doesn't really mean all that much. It's more about your ability to, like you said, move the ball down the field, dink and dunk.
So, yeah, I agree with all you guys. I think he's going to pan out, and I don't know if he's going to be Tom Brady or Peyton Manning, or I don't. No one knows what he's going to pan out to be, but I think if you got the number 1 pick in the NFL draft, you have to take Joe Burrow just based on the fact that he's done it at a high level at LSU, won the national championship, just one of the most composed quarterbacks ever. And then as a competitor, he's got that edge that you like to see. So he's got the intangibles and he's got the accuracy. I know the arm strength is a different thing, but I think that you got to go with him, especially if you're a team like the Bengals who have been in this drought with Andy Dalton for however long. It's definitely time to move on and go with a guy like Joe Burrow. So
I don't think the stat is, I'm trying to think, it's not 100% that I'm correct on this, but I think he threw more touchdowns than he had incompletions this year. Don't hold me to that 100%, but like, think about that.
Threw more touchdowns than he had incompletions.
What the shit?
Justin's gonna have to get on that for us, and we'll come back to it. But he's like our young Jamie. So there's gonna be I saw on 24/7 Sports that there's projected to be 11. I think this is correct. 11 players from the SEC West going to be picked in the first round, and all 3 of those 11 are going to be from Alabama, LSU, and Auburn. Let's just think about it for a second. So we're all based out of Fayetteville. So obviously we cover the Razorbacks, Ty and I do, and then we got Sneed and JJ and Justin, all Razorback guys. So how does that look for Arkansas? Like, how is Arkansas ever going to be able to get over that hump in the SEC West, especially with hiring a guy like Sam Pittman? I'll start with you, JJ.
No, we're not. No, we're not. You just got to face the reality of it. Like we'll sneak away maybe a 9-10 win season, possibly. But we're never gonna get to the point where like we're gonna join that like cluster where we can put in like first round picks. Like Scooter has been far and away the best player on this team for like 3 years, and he's gonna be what, like a 4th round pick?
No, he's not even gonna get drafted.
He's not gonna get drafted?
Yeah.
There's a good possibility he could go to the 7th round or not even drafted.
God bless, man. Yeah, so I mean, like that's the best player on our team, and I mean and he's a damn good linebacker. I never see us getting those guys that are going to be bona fide first round picks. Maybe once every like 3-4 years, possibly. But we'll never be in that territory where they lump us in with the Alabama, LSU, where we're churning out 3-4 first round picks a year.
let's go to the experts. That's
Yeah, I'm
myself
not
and Ty. No, that was good analysis, JJ. I really, honestly, Ty, what do you think, man? What, and even like Arkansas, like you can lump in with Ole Miss and Mississippi State. Are those teams on the bottom half of the SEC West ever going to be able to get over that hump?
Well, let's point out that Ole Miss, to this day, as long as they've been a member of the SEC, has still not been to an SEC championship. And
That's
I know
very important to put out.
you guys hate the Rebels as much as I do, so that's always fun to say. And even if it doesn't need to be brought into the situation, we'll bring it
No,
in.
you did a good job. Thank you. You brought that to the world.
But even like go back to 2010, 2011. Like how many first round picks did you have over those years? If there, I don't know, Pete, you could probably recite this off of memory better than I can. But like most of those guys were not first or second round picks. They had superb talent with all the guys they had on offense, but it's not like they were just churning out NFL ready, go guys. Arkansas is always going to have the lesser talented, the lesser heralded guys. That doesn't mean you can't win. It's about the right coach. It's about the right recruiting pitch. And it's just things have to go a certain way. Like Arkansas has to get luck go their way. And they haven't had that since, 2015? And you could even argue it's a bit dating back to 2011 that they haven't had anything go their way over the course of the season.
All right, I'm going to get to you in a second, Sneed, but let's just bring this up for conversation's sake because it doesn't seem very positive from what you guys are saying. Let's say 10 years down the road, Arkansas continues to get beat up, and they don't even have one 8-win season. I mean, what's the move at that point? Do you basically ditch the SEC West, ditch some money, and go find somewhere where you can be more competitive? Or do you just keep on grinding and keep on, trying to get over that hump every single year? JJ, you can take that.
No, honestly,
So
I'm so
question.
apathetic about the football program right now that like I'm so lukewarm on Pittman. I'm so lukewarm on pretty much everything. Lukewarm at best, I should say. That like
He's
I've
the most
almost-
negative. Ty, I want you to know he's the most negative person about the football program that I've ever seen.
I don't know, man. I'm pretty negative on the radio sometimes, especially with what we've had to deal with as of late.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
you have to
Like
be, for sure.
So I mean, I'm torn between like not even caring if we never reach that pinnacle of the SEC, or the other side that we should just go to like the Big 12 and just like churn out like 8-9 win seasons like more regularly. So, it's between those two things. Like I don't know. I'd rather just. I don't feel it anymore. Like I lost it the past 8 years of absolute mediocrity.
That's fair. And I see Sneed over there looking like he's got something to say. So, Will, I'm going to let the beast rip.
The reason that you don't leave the SEC is because if you move to the Big 12, regardless of how much you win, how much you lose, you're going to be just like an Iowa State with a state this size, with a media share this size. And when we go to super conferences, when we go to super conferences, guess who gets left out in the Big 12 equation? Arkansas. It was going to happen to Missouri. You don't think it would happen to Arkansas?
No.
Missouri
So
has Kansas City and St. Louis as a media share, as a market share.
Iowa State doesn't have a Dallas to recruit to. Iowa State doesn't even have a Tulsa to recruit to.
I'm talking about market shares and media shares, though. I'm not talking about recruiting. I'm not talking about winning. I'm talking about
somehow I made this whole NFL draft thing is Arkansas going to move to the Big 12 scenario? But it's just kind of been gloom and doom around these parts lately. So we'll try to pump it up and get a little positivity going here.
Can I make one point real quick?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Okay, so I think you were interning at the time. Bo had the late Frank Royals on, and Frank actually got on Arkansas airwaves and said they were not going to get an invite to the Big 12. That was like a thing because people were so disappointed. A lot of older fans were like, we want to keep playing Southwest Conference opponents. And Frank adamantly stated we were not going to get an invite to Big 12. So like you were saying, Sneed, unfortunately, Arkansas doesn't have a Dallas. Arkansas doesn't have a Kansas City or St. Louis. We don't have a city in the state that qualifies enough to, hey, that's a big enough state, that's a big enough point where we need Arkansas. Now, Arkansas's had attractive success before really they got to the SEC. And I know they've had some in this conference, but Sneed, you made a good point. Little Rock's our biggest calling card in Northwest Arkansas, and that's not good enough, just to be honest.
Yeah, you got to be extremely happy with where you are right now in terms of conference. And a lot of people think that moving from the SEC to the Big 12 is like it's like a move downwards a little bit. But yeah, Frank went on the airwaves and said that Big 12 wouldn't even give Arkansas an invite again. So, I mean, you got to think about it from a different perspective. And of course, 10 years down the road, things are going to be a lot different. So, it's good perspective from everybody there.
And my last point is it transcends football. Like I wouldn't want to join the Big 12 just because, almost like purely solely because of the baseball. Like I want to play SEC opponents every week. And
well, you're a huge baseball fan, and most people, and the money is not in
right.
baseball. But I know what you're saying. What you're saying. Let's move to a more lighthearted topic, and let's talk about this MJ documentary. And I've seen your boy Ty tweeting about this a lot. Big MJ guy, not a LeBron guy. Ty, what were your thoughts on the documentary?
That was fantastic. So when 9 o'clock rolled around, I'd watched part one. I was like, I got to go to bed. And I watched part two immediately that next day. This 10-part series is going to be great. And I know it's really cool that Michael Jordan has donated his proceeds to charity. I thought that was an interesting tidbit. So I've read 3 Michael Jordan books written by Sam Smith. I'm reading Phil Jackson's book right now. I'm about as, in like our generation, there's typically more LeBron fans than there are MJ fans. I'm not in that category at all. I think Michael Jordan is the greatest player of all time. And this documentary, yes, there's probably going to be some bad things that come out that people say, oh, Jordan did this, LeBron didn't do that. But just his competitive nature, his competitive fire, and a lot of things that you'll see unfold in this documentary is going to be special.
All right. I love your take, and here's why. So if a lot of people don't know this about Ty, or they probably do, they just don't think about it the way I think about it. So Ty, based on his job, has become an old man. See, he goes to we had to convince him, basically force him against his will to have a beer with us tonight, which we appreciate, Ty.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, he wakes up at 4:20 every morning. He go to bed like nobody else watched the first part, went to sleep and watched the second part. That's our age, besides you. You know what I'm saying? So you have this old school mentality. So I'm not surprised at all that you'd be an MJ kind of guy. I'm not trying to start an MJ LeBron debate between all of us. We could do that forever. But what were your thoughts on the documentary, JJ?
I so far love it. As far as like the comparisons themselves between like the MJ LeBron stuff, you have like for me personally, I separate into 2 separate things. I think LeBron's the better player by far. Like I think like LeBron is more physical. I think he's more athletic. But you also have to separate it into the competitive nature and like the competitive side of things. And I think MJ's accomplishments and what he did are more impressive than what LeBron's done so far. But as far as the documentary itself, it's given a good backstory on. I mean, a lot of the stuff people already knew so far. I feel like it's going to get a lot more in depth in the next like 6 episodes, 7 episodes, however much are left, about like the intricacies that we didn't know about. Because like everyone, like you can go on Wikipedia or Google and look up Scottie Pippen's like salary. Like we knew that stuff, or it's readily available. So it was just interesting that they brought that stuff up and like reminded us of that. But I honestly like the way they're putting it together right now. I can't wait to see like what they dig up like and stuff that like we have never heard in the next few episodes.
And Steve, what are your thoughts, man?
Well, first off, how about the Arkansas connections that are already tied in with this? We've had obviously Scotty. We've got Scottie Pippen. Clinton was on, wasn't he?
Clinton was on. Joe Klein.
Yeah.
Sidney
Moncrief. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was definitely cool to see.
I thought so too. It makes you think about the Arkansas connection to basketball just in general during that time. 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But as far as Michael Jordan goes, I kind of agree with JJ. I don't like to do the comparison thing. I'm not a big NBA guy as it is. I think that they're obviously the 2 best players of all time. However you want to rank them is your own personal opinion.
That's a good perspective, JJ. I mean, Sneed, what's going on here? But
Whoops.
I think that the reason it's so popular is obviously because everyone's been waiting for something to watch. You know what I'm saying? So, and if this was like in the middle of the NBA playoffs, it'd definitely be popular, and the conversations would be all over the place about LeBron, especially if LeBron was making a run at this point. But I didn't think it was like amazing, to be honest. Like I'm a James guy. I think that you had like 20 years to release it, and it's kind of stupid how it took so long to come out. That's awesome. He's given it to charity, but I think it just all it does is give a platform to these Jordan people, the last one they're ever going to have, and it's kind of like their last shot. It's kind of annoying to be honest, but we'll move on to something that's really close to
One
ties.
last.
We have them on. Yeah.
One last. Can
Okay.
you? Does
Always
anyone?
have to be the last one. Okay.
Can anyone describe or like explain to me what's going on with MJ's eyes? They're like burnt orange.
I think because he's like
jaundice.
People think he's good at basketball.
Like
I'm not
so good at
obviously
basketball that his eyes look like basketballs.
No, but they'd say like, yeah, he was just different, man. He was just different.
His body is literally morphing into a basketball. Okay, well then that's a point for MJ.
Before everyone comes to trash me, I know Jordan's good. I'm kind of messing around, just like trying to pull some strings here, but I think it's going to be number 1 LeBron, number 2 Jordan when it's all said and done. So let's move on to one of Ty's favorite topics because a little bit of history about Ty is after, I don't know, I think it was like a year after you graduated, you went to Nashville, right? So
it's been some time there. Yeah, it was awesome.
I mean, honestly, like Nashville is such a great place. That's probably, if you had to rank SEC cities, that's number 1. But here's the question: is Nashville an SEC city? Ty?
I don't think it is. I know your boss Trey was talking to me that he's been to every city and he's enjoyed some, hasn't enjoyed others as much. But Nashville is a great southern country town that happens to have an SEC school. Vanderbilt is an afterthought there. No one takes the Commodore seriously. It just happens to be, and I'm not kidding when I say this. I've been at 6th Street. I've been to Beale. I've been to New Orleans, Bourbon Street. And I'm trying to think if there's another like popular bar district street that I've been to. But to me, Broadway and Nashville, and really just Nashville and Uptown and everything there is better than anything else I've ever been to. If you haven't got a chance to go there, Bridgestone Arena is literally on Broadway. So when you walk out of the arena, whether you're at the SEC Championship or you're just at a Preds game, you walk outside and you're on the bar district. There's no other scene like that in the South. Bridgestone, Nashville is just unbelievable. Yeah, Ben, you got to go.
Did you guys even talk about Vanderbilt sports while you were over there?
No, we had one radio host on the radio station that spent time on Vandy. Everyone else, it was one guy in the morning did his college football. Then the other guys did mostly Preds, Titans, combination. The Tennessee, there's more alums of the Tennessee Volunteers out of Knoxville and Nashville than there is Vandy alums. I mean, it is just an afterthought, guys. I wish I could give you a better equivalent. And it's not necessarily Arkansas State and Jonesboro because I think there's a good contingency of Red Wolves fans there, but it's just a complete, like, no one, it's behind the curtain, no one cares about it. Vandy's just an afterthought.
I would almost put it below like what Little Rock residents think of UALR.
I was about to say that.
Yeah, honestly, probably.
I think Little Rock's that's more postseason basketball success than Vandy has lately, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. Well, to be fair, I mean, UALR pretty much have more success than we've had in March lately.
That's true. Well, so I think JJ and Steve will both agree with you that it's not really an SEC city. I think it's awesome that we have a team in Nashville, so you can like use that city for things like, you know, like the SEC tournament and stuff like that, because that makes it better for people like Ty and I that get to go cover. Like, obviously, that's awesome. But
you didn't get to go to that 24/7 Sports Summit, did you? Like,
no, Trey and Danny left me behind, but it's okay. I wasn't mad at all. You know, I was actually really okay and cool with it. But so these guys, JJ and Snead, I know have been in a lot of SEC cities, and JJ and Snead, can we both agree that Columbia, Missouri, is the worst city in the SEC?
I refuse to go. I'm never going to go to Columbia.
Gosh, you know, I hate to talk bad about Columbia. My dad's a Mizzou alum, and sorry, my dog's going crazy. My dad's a Mizzou alum.
He's like, shut up.
Mac doesn't like that. I don't like that either. I want to bark like Mac right now.
I can't really think of a city that's better than Columbia in the SEC though. So I guess I would have to agree with that.
I haven't been to Starkville. Starkville make that list?
I heard Starkville's a dump.
I've heard Starkville's a dump. I've not heard great things about College Station either.
College Station's fine. I've been there. It's flat as hell, but it does the job. Like, what's it called? Not Westport. What's that bar district called? I forget. But it's not bad. Westgate.
So, Ty, I'll get you out of here with this so you can go crochet with your buddies while you're watching the chats. I'm just kidding, man. But if there's one town in the SEC that you want to go check out that you haven't been to, we're still young. We're probably going to end up actually seeing them all by the time it's all said and done. But where's one place you're excited to check out?
Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It's really not a competition. I think Athens is close. I really want to go to Auburn. Don't have a great desire to go to Tuscaloosa, but I've had several of my buddies that have gone there. Got a couple of buddies that live down there, and they say there is nothing like Tigerland, nothing like a Saturday game in Death Valley. And I'm like you guys. I'm friends with a bunch of Arkansas Razorback fans. That's what I grew up with in Arkansas, and they tell me as Arkansas fans their entire life, dude, there's nothing like it here. They drink more than anything I've ever seen. The food here is unbelievable. I want to go to Fred. Actually, one of my buddies went down to a buddy's house I'm about to go to. They went down to Baton Rouge 2 years ago, went to Fred's. Ryan Russillo was there just drinking a beer, and they talked to him for like 15 minutes. That's the place.
Okay. If there was like, I know why you said you added Auburn in there. You shouldn't have done that. But the only reason you did that is because your girl Madison Pugh's over there.
That's a great point. You bring up a good point. So I had a buddy, Caleb Avery, that lived in Auburn. He seemed to enjoy it. I've had several of my friends I went to high school with that have been down there for a game, and they said the nightlife's pretty cool. And Madison Pruitt being there, that doesn't hurt anything either.
Well, Sal, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks for having a beer with us, man. And hey, cheers to the NFL draft. Cheers to something being on TV. Cheers to sports, boys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's somewhat back.
All right. Now we are headed to the segment of the show where we play everyone's favorite game, SEC Position Grinder. We need a better name for this segment.
Swipe right.
It's really bad. Swipe right or swipe left. We're going to call it Swipe Right. So we're going to play a fun game of Swipe Right. I think that my friend Justin over here, he got some good ones for us this week. I'm going to go over last week right quick. No one said anything. I think we all know who won by landslide. JJ got the 2013 version of, oh my God, these notes are terrible. What does that say, dude?
That says Pat McCaffrey.
2013. Well, okay. Well, you had 2007 Darren McFadden, 2012 Todd Gurley, and 2003 Cadillac Williams.
I had Jeremy Hill.
Jeremy Hill.
2013 Jeremy Hill. Yeah, that's right, dude. So it's a pretty good, solid squad. Snead had 2012 Ed Lacy, 2009 Dexter McCluster, 2015 Alex Collins, and 2011 Michael Dyer. So let's get into running backs this week. I'm pretty excited.
Wide receivers.
Let's get into wideouts this week.
There we go.
Because I'm pretty excited. My phone would unlock. All right, here we go, boys. The first cat that we're going to go with. You guys ready?
Yep.
And Justin's always going to be the judge if it's a close tie. So, this guy in 2013. Okay, I'm not supposed to say the year, but all right, we'll start with the year. In 2013, this guy went to Texas A&M, okay? He had...
Swipe right. It's Mike Evans.
Yep. All right, JJ has one. It could be anybody. We don't know.
Okay.
It could be anybody. Going on to the next cat. He is from Arkansas. He went to school in Arkansas, I should say. He had 66 receptions, 1,117 receiving yards, and 12 touchdowns.
Swipe right.
Swipe right.
That's a good line.
I thought that was a pretty good line, too. All right. Now, this next guy went to Alabama.
Swipe right.
Okay. All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
This next guy went to Georgia in 2000 and...
Nope. Don't say the year.
Oh, yep. Come on, This guy had 56 receptions, 963 yards, and 8 touchdowns.
Swipe left.
I have a feeling that's going to... Are these the best years for each player?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's probably not A.J. Green then. Okay, I'm good. Cycle that one through.
Okay. This next cat went to LSU.
Swipe right.
This guy
Will's playing an interesting game right now. I think
are
this,
really feeling some strategy here.
I think Will is going to regret these choices.
We will see. All right, this next guy went to Arkansas. He had 90 receptions for 1,000. That was you, Sneed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he has 3. I have 1.
Yep. No, you have 2.
I have 2. Oh, I do have 2. So 2 and 2.
Yep. No, 2 and 3. So you
2 and
need
3.
Sneed needs 1 more, and then you need 2 more.
Got it.
This guy also went to Alabama.
Swipe right.
That was
That's
JJ.
JJ.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. This is the last guy, so you both need 1 more, and then if you
It
don't
is.
remember, you get the guy that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
So this guy had 77 receptions. Went to Kentucky,
Swipe right.
1,036. Okay,
That's
Oh,
right.
I know who that is.
really?
Yeah, is that Cobb?
It is not Cobb.
Ah, shit.
By
Okay, I feel good then.
you
I'll
know,
get that.
you guys passed on the Georgia guy, right?
I'll get the Georgia guy. Yeah, I pick up the Georgia guy by default.
I think that's probably a good choice.
I think that's AJ Green because I think that's probably the year that he got suspended.
No, but you're close. All right, so I'm gonna go over these one more time. So obviously JJ, the first one was Mike Evans, and that's my fault. I screwed that up. You got the 2013.
Wait. I'm gonna guess. You let Will guess all the time. I want to guess.
I'll let you guess, dude. But you got Mike Evans. Everyone and like their mom knows that's listening to this podcast right now. Hopefully your mom is listening to the podcast, and if so, like, sup.
Also,
But-
she's seen.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Also, so this guy, the next cat, went to Arkansas. He had 1,117 receiving yards, 12 touchdowns, and 66 receptions.
Is that Kobe Hamilton?
No, you got Jarius Wright.
Okay, good.
2011
It's one of
Jarius
those. There's one of the big 3.
Yeah, that's a good choice, I feel like.
Yeah.
All right. And then who else did you get? Oh, yeah, okay. You have all right, went to Alabama.
Mhm.
He had 124 receptions, 1,727 receiving yards, and 16 touchdowns. You got what'd you get?
Is that? It's not Calvin Ridley. It's
No.
It's
Cowboys.
What?
Cowboys.
Oh, Amari.
You got the 2014 Amari Cooper.
Hell yeah.
I think,
That's one on the list.
All right, and then you got the last one who went to Georgia. I just read his stats. Who do you think you got?
It's not AJ Green. Then is it AJ Green?
It's
What?
It's not AJ Green that year he got suspended. His freshman year, in
Oh,
2008.
yeah.
He had
But it's still AJ Green.
56 receptions, 8 touchdowns, and
Go.
963 receiving yards.
I'm Gucci.
So-
with that. I feel good.
That's a pretty good stack, but I think this is definitely the closest one that you guys have had.
For
Okay,
sure.
So-
we'll put this on a Twitter vote then.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so Sneed, you got this guy. He went to Alabama. He had 78 receptions, 1,133 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns.
Ooh, Leo.
You got the 2010 Julio Jones. I think he might be the best receiver on the list, but not in terms of
Not
stats. That would go
stats-wise,
to-
yeah.
That would go to Amari Cooper and another guy that you got, I think. This guy went to LSU. And if I would have said the year, you guys would probably be pretty confused. But just based off his stats, he had 78 receptions, 1,079 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Who do you think you got here?
That's not OBJ, is it?
It's not. It's early 2000s.
Oh, gosh. I don't know then.
Used to be a running back.
Yes, sir. Michael Clayton.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's all right. But I
No.
think JJ would be happy that he didn't get Michael Clayton.
Good
Yeah.
pick, Willie.
This guy went to Arkansas. He had 90 receptions this year, 1,335 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Overall, I think better numbers than what Jarius Wright had in, let's say, 2011. So, who do you think you got here?
Is that Marcus Monk? No.
2012.
2012.
yeah.
So that's Kobe.
Yeah,
Kobe Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yep. So I'd say that's pretty much a wash between those two. I'm glad somebody didn't get both, or that'd be very contentious. So at least one of you guys both got an
Yeah.
Arkansas receiver. All right, moving on to your last guy, and this is, I think, where it might actually be the tipping point in JJ's
Oh.
favor.
Oh, really? In my favor.
This guy had 77 receptions, 1,036 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Not bad numbers, but a fourth-round draft pick. He didn't really pan out in the NFL. Who do you think it was?
If it's not Randall Cobb, I've got no
Yeah.
idea.
Keenan Burton. That might be like, but he had a good season. But if we're
He's
just looking
a
like,
State Farm agent right now.
if we're going just based off names, we'll go through it one more time. And Justin, you're gonna have to help me out on this one, okay? JJ got the 2011 version of Jarius Wright, the 2013 version of Mike Evans, the 2014 version of Amari Cooper, the 2010 version of AJ Green.
That's a dub. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
That's a
He
dub.
got the
That's a
2010 version of Julio Jones, 2003 version of Michael Clayton, and then the 2012 version of Kobe Hamilton, and the 2006 version of Keenan Burton. JJ wins.
That's
Yeah,
probably
just-
they win, but I've got the best receiver in the group, so
You do. You got Julio. I mean, I think. Who do you think was the best receiver of the 2000s? Like, if you had to look at, is it Julio?
I think it's Julio.
If it's not Julio, it's AJ.
What about Alshon Jeffrey?
Jeffrey was a beast.
Yeah, I almost
He
put
also
him
has
in.
my
Yeah.
favorite recruiting story.
What's his recruiting story?
So he was gonna go to, I think. So I'm probably very loose on these details, but he was gonna very, very heavily considering Tennessee, and I think it may have been Kiffin that said if you go to South Carolina, you'll be pumping gas for the rest of your life. And he like immediately turned around and went back home and committed to South Carolina and became like an NFL like star.
Yeah, I've heard that before. That's the funny thing about that is usually you'd be like, oh, maybe he's right. Maybe I'll just stick Tennessee. But props to him for sticking with the South Carolina.
Because he's from South Carolina, right?
I know Clowney is. Those are
Yeah.
like the two South Carolina guys, and then Marcus Lattimore that really stick out from the 2000s. I know those, but what about that Arkansas group with Ryan Mallett? You got Jarius Wright, Greg Childs, and Kobe Hamilton. Those dudes were insane.
Did you say Joe Adams?
I think I said Joe Adams. I said Joe Adams. Oh yeah, Joe Adams too. Yeah, I didn't even say
Yeah.
Joe Adams. You got Kobe Hamilton, Joe Adams, Greg Childs, and Jarius Wright. It's amazing those all four were on campus at the same exact time.
And that's
DJ
why I think
Williams was there. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah,
DJ
that's-
Williams too.
DJ Williams. That's why I think Petrino lucked his way into a few 10-win seasons. I think if he wouldn't have had that class, I don't think he would have had near the success.
Yeah,
that
but
initial class set the for him for 4 years.
On the offensive side of the ball, there's no doubt about it. But he had to get Ryan Mallett to come back to Arkansas, so that was kind of a win. Ryan Mallett probably looked at what he had to work with, and then looking at Bobby Petrino's offense and said, "Man, I can put up some numbers." And he did. He holds all the passing records at Arkansas, so that was a lot of fun to watch. Hey, look at the Arkansas receiver room right now. If you can get a quarterback in there that can toss him the ball, you got Treylon Burks, who is an absolute monster. Trey Knox is a big body guy that has a lot of potential.
Woods.
Mike Woods is going to be he's really athletic, and he's the leading returning receiver. If Felipe Franks can get them the ball next year, Arkansas might put up some numbers in the passing game, especially with Kendall Briles. But this whole quarantine thing kind of screws that all up because they're not going to have an opportunity to get on the field with them. Hopefully they're paying attention to their virtual meetings because everyone's on the level playing field, basically.
It's a very bad year to be a grad transfer. Like, it's a horrible year.
It's a bad year to have a new staff as well. So that's going to be rough. Yeah. But you got a lot of talent, and hey, if anything, just enjoy watching Treylon Burks while you can because he is something else. Hopefully he gets the ball more often.
He's going to be a 3-year player, regardless.
Right, absolutely. So move on to JJ's favorite segment.
Oh, yes, it's mailbag time, finally. Okay.
Wait, so Justin can pause it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. So our friend on earlier was talking about Joe Burrow. Said he had more incompletions or more touchdowns than incompletions.
Nice.
Well, yeah, it wasn't real close. Joe Burrow had 125 incompletions and 60 touchdowns. So
Which
we
is
love
still
that.
incredible. Like, let's not
I mean,
very,
very good.
but way off, son. I appreciate Ty coming on, man. It was a good conversation. But
Yeah,
actually, before you start the mailbag, proud of you guys, man.
I
Right?
didn't curse with them.
You didn't, Kurt. No, I'm not proud of you, idiots. I'm proud of the guys that responded on Twitter and gave some better questions. this
Oh,
week.
okay. I thought you were talking to me.
I've never been proud of you. Hey,
Yeah,
by
always
before we
think
get started,
credit's
Hey,
gonna
my
share.
parents would say the same thing.
Hey. Speaking of proud of you, hey Justin, that's an awesome degree you have back there, man. Congratulations on graduating. JJ, what? Tell him what's going on downstairs at the cabin
Let me grab my degree real quick. Give me 1 second.
on
I
the
just
game,
I keep
Justin.
this bad boy right beside my the couch in my living room.
If you
Can't
can't,
wait to
that's an empty that's an empty like degree holder or like
Yep.
a friend that's
Those on
supposed to.
Spotify, that is an empty degree holder.
And what's the minimum age in the cabin?
The minimum age in the cabin, we have 3 guys, and the youngest is 24, 23, 24.
No degree, still.
Mine's a work in progress. Kyle is a work in progress. Blake, he's not gonna. He's doing his own.
All right, but hey, the people, you're gonna end up being a professional podcaster one day, so it doesn't really even technically matter.
That's all that matters, boy. Okay. Mailbag. Yes. Like Pete said, you guys did well this week. This may be our longest segment of the day. There's a lot of good questions I don't want to skip. And we'll go through some of these quick. So I'll notify the other guys when hey, 1-word answer, go. So the first one, this is a 1-word answer or like a 3-word answer. Who would win a fight, 1 trillion lions or the sun?
Is this a one-word answer?
That's like a 3-word answer, if that.
The sun.
Will.
The sun.
The sun. I don't know. It doesn't matter how many lions. They're gonna die.
Justin,
Yeah, the sun.
Yeah,
that's a
that's
stupid question.
That's a
You
stupid.
ever read science books, bro?
Yeah. Come on, Brett.
Idiot.
Most underrated part of Fayetteville, Pete.
The tacos.
Ooh.
They have bombest tacos in the world, man.
Anywhere specifically?
Like they have shops that you can go to. You can get like lingua, which is cow tongue, all these trash meats. But the way they do it and like the way they have it set up is just unbelievable. Like I'd put them up against any tacos in the world.
Where?
I don't have to name a place, man. My
You can
favorite.
get that anywhere. You realize that, right? That's not Fayetteville specific.
Well, screw you, dude. I swear I'm a huge taco fan. I've been a lot of places, like especially like up north. They're absolute trash Mexican food.
Okay.
I mean, Texas has got good Mexican food. California's got like a different kind of thing. But when it comes to just taco shops, like Fayetteville is absolutely loaded. Like you can go to any block and find great tacos.
Fair, I guess. I don't know. Will, go.
You know, I'm kind of struggling to think of something. I think maybe the best one that I can say is the fact that you can go through a drive-through liquor store, because where I'm from, that's not a thing. We didn't have those in Springfield, Missouri. So
Yeah, that's
the drive-through liquor store.
Everywhere.
I'm big fan of that.
If my thing is gonna get crapped on, they do that everywhere.
yeah, they really do. Will, I mean, I'm from Lonoke County, and we have that.
Same.
Uh,
Yep.
You ever watched the movie, dude? Everywhere's got a drive-through liquor store.
No,
Hey, I'm only trashing you because I've trashed this bad energy in here now, but that was stupid, I guess.
I don't-
Sorry.
Yeah, Will,
I don't know if it's an underrated thing, but I've only been to Fayetteville a few times. But mango burritos.
Mangoes is good. Mangoes is
very
very
awesome.
good. I'll say the strip clubs. No, I'm just kidding. Strip clubs are awful here.
Terrible.
They're awful. And I'm gonna try to get a sponsorship from them, but so I'm gonna watch my words carefully. But y'all need to step y'all's game up. The
Hey,
most
once
underrated,
you're better, maybe you're going to be worthy to sponsor the show.
yeah, that's true. The most underrated part of Fayetteville, I'm gonna go. That's a good question. Underrated. That would imply that it's not rated
know.
highly, correct?
That's why I was.
Stuff like tacos, maybe, would be a good answer.
I think the women. I don't think it gets the credit that it deserves. Fayetteville. I mean, I've been to a few SEC towns, and I think Fayetteville is damn near the top.
It's the
Let's see here. So this one was like geared toward me, but I'm gonna deflect it onto y'all too. What was college JJ like? So we'll go start with Pete. What was college Pete like?
College Pete was a lot like I was definitely more bashful. I did not make very many good decisions. I was basically your stereotypical douche. Um, it
Mhm.
was a lot of fun. I was not good at school. I had to. The
Well,
reason that I took
we didn't come to play school.
no. The reason I had to go get a journalism major is because my grades weren't high enough to be like in the business school. So I had to move to a journalism major. I figured it out eventually, though. By the end of it, I was transitioning well into normal life, unlike these freaks. So I feel like I got it together pretty quick. I kind of got scared straight there after the first couple semesters.
Okay. So I'll say that I started. So this is actually a tragic tale of what could go wrong. I came into the University of Arkansas an honor student. I had a 34 on my ACT. I had a 4.
34? No
I
way,
swear to
dude.
God,
What?
I'm a very smart person, Justin. I'm a smart guy. We went
He's
to high
pretty.
school together.
He's pretty smart.
What
I'm
happened?
pretty freaking smart.
What happened?
34 is like freaking Yo-Yo Ma level, dude.
Yeah, pretty much.
Whoa.
Right. So I came. I was an honor student for a year, and it was just a case of I realized that class is quote unquote mandatory, and I took full advantage of that, and I didn't really go to class. And I still like so that after the first year, I had like a 3.8. Like I was doing well, and then like it just like once I like moved out of the dorms, like lived like off campus, it just started going down, 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 down. I had an internship with a supplier to Walmart. Like I'm doing pretty well for myself now. Like I'm a salesman, but like college JJ did not go to class. One day he drove to Tulsa to get Whataburger because it wasn't here yet, and then stopped on a casino on the way back. So not much has changed really. Um,
This is our trajectories. This is me. I went like this, and you went like this. So it's like, what do you call that 34 in the ACT when they cross?
that's a perpendicular line. But yeah, no. College JJ was probably just as bad as he thought he was. No drugs really, but a lot of drinking and a lot of skipping class and uh, not living up to potentials. But here we are, making a living, making a good living, despite what Pete thinks.
Hey, man, what's the worst thing you could possibly say to like an 18-year-old is that the class is mandatory. It shouldn't be mandatory when you're like first coming into college. Like that's ridiculous to say to somebody because that's just begging them to skip class.
Yeah, you have to if I'm a professor and I know like this class is important for the like youth of America, I say like, hey, I'm giving like points to come to class because if that was the case,
Absolutely.
I would have came to class. But like, I mean, when like professor started saying like, yeah, like we advise you to come to class, I took that as a you can skip this until test day.
Exactly. What about you, Steve?
So College William was an absolute degenerate. Didn't go to class, skipped meetings, drank every day, gambled.
Huge Hog fan.
Yeah, huge Hog fan. You know, really liked to day drink. No, actually, not much has changed. I'm still kind of College William.
Recipe for disaster.
I'm gonna rope producer Justin in on this one because I actually don't know Justin because we went to high school together, but like I didn't know how you were.
That's a good point.
College Justin was confused. He didn't really know what he was gonna do. He didn't know what he was doing with
Justin,
life.
I went through 6 major changes. You couldn't be that confused.
When everyone has that one college experience, they're like, I'm confused. I don't know if I like that's a girl. We've all been there. No, continue. I'm honestly curious, man. Sorry.
Didn't know what major I wanted to do. Went to ASU BB just to get my basics out of the way. Came to UCA, started journalism, liked the behind the scenes stuff, and here we are. Working local, doing podcasts behind the scenes.
I love that though. That's a true Arkansas story though, because the guys that are from like our side of the state, like not Northwest or, really just basically central. A lot of us start off at community college, so I think that's a good story.
The
Success
blue
story.
collar 501 tough baby.
I started
right.
at community college and I went 2 years and didn't finish. So let me add that one on.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay. Another guy asked about short shorts, It's the same guy. He really wants to know about the short
Dude,
shorts.
come on. What do you wear, bro? What does he wear? We need to ask him questions. That's so stupid.
Will's got some freaking yams. I tell you what. Good.
Hey, what about short shorts on fat guy? No relation.
Next question.
Can I flip off on the pod? Is that allowed?
Yeah, go ahead, Will. Let it fly, baby. Okay, what celebrity would you like to have drinks with? One male and one female. What would you drink? Beer is not an option. There's a lot of stipulations to this question. So let me simplify this. One guy, one girl, celebrity you want to drink with, and what do you drink? Pete,
You start, dude. I haven't even thought
sorry.
about
Okay,
this.
I'll start. Matthew McConaughey's got to be the guy. He's got to be the guy. And A, because he's cool,
yeah.
and B, like, hey, enough drinks, and who knows what happens. As far as a girl, Blake Lively comes to mind first.
All right, you took both mine.
Okay, well, Justin's out. Just because she's like my one, like, I don't have like celebrity crushes, but Blake Lively is my celebrity crush.
Yes.
So those are my two, and we drink probably tequila. We'll just shoot tequila all night, all three of us. Freaking again, some freaky stuff. Okay, Pete, go.
I'm gonna go like a little bit realistic here because I've always felt that this is an option. A guy that I would want to drink with is John Daly. I just think he's an absolute legend, and like you know that you'd have a really fun time in Dardanelle. I imagine that we're in Dardanelle when we're doing this on his golf course, just having a hell of a time. I'm gonna break out just whiskey. I think John likes whiskey. I'm pretty sure he's a big fan of that. So we'll just where the ball's in his court. And then we're gonna invite Oprah over to come hang out with us because she's like the most powerful woman of our generation, and I just want to see what that environment breeds, what conversation happens.
That's it. I wouldn't invite Oprah to drink with me.
But it's a stipulation that she has to drink. We're all drinking.
Okay, we'll go.
So my first one is gonna maybe piss off some of the Arkansas fans that listen to us, and I get it. I understand.
Johnny Manziel.
But no.
Chad Kelly.
How on earth would you not know? How would you not want to drink with Steve Spurrier? I mean, I get that he didn't vote
Yeah,
for McFadden for the high, but probably I could see me drinking with Steve Spurrier on a boat out in the ocean somewhere, drinking some rum, that kind of
Nice.
thing. For my female, can I go like young Britney Spears? Is that allowed?
No, you got Britney Spears the cracker.
How well? Clarify an age, Will.
Please.
like when she turned
Mickey Mouse Club, Britney Spears.
Yeah,
like-
there's a few different
like
Britney Spears you
head
can choose.
shit.
I want you to choose your next words very
She
carefully,
turned
Will.
21, when she turned 21, because we do not condone underage drinking on the podcast.
Or
Good
statute.
answer.
Okay, yes.
And we would probably drink a nice
Young
couple
Britney Spears.
for obvious.
She was
Okay.
famous, like young Britney Spears was famous when she was like not 18. By the way,
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a
well,
risky play
that
there,
was-
Will. I'm glad you
I-
salvaged it.
she was 21. We were 21.
Okay.
good choice, Will.
I'm surprised that no one said Uncle Jerry.
I mean, that'd be great too. Honestly,
I mean, he'd fly you drunk around in his helicopter, probably.
tonight I think I convinced him. I'd be like, "Come on, man.
Yeah.
You know you want to take a kicker around 3, bro. Show him, Jerry."
I
they'd be
think
like,
there's
"You-
I think there's a slight chance that Jerry on accident on ESPN. Doesn't bleep that out too.
That wouldn't be on accident.
Jeez, man.
Okay, next question. Craziest Razorback fan encounter you've had and or craziest Twitter feud you've been in? I have a few.
I think my craziest Razorback fan encounters all come at Baum Stadium. There's just been a bunch of people. When you look around, it's all pretty much the same crowd, which is just crazy Hog fans, like super passionate Razorback fans, and then like it's a party going on around you, like basically like a college party, the biggest party in Fayetteville. And then you look and you'll see like, why is this meth head sitting right here? And like on 2 occasions, I've seen just a meth head like asleep and being dragged out of the hog pen.
That was me.
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
All right, Will, go.
I don't know if this constitutes as either one, but I had a guy last college football playoff. I think. No, it was the one before this year. So I was tweeting something about the national championship when Alabama was playing Clemson, and Clemson kicked their ass. And he tweeted something to me, and he's like, "Hey, didn't I see you at JJ's last week wearing a Alabama hat or something?"
I remember that.
Which is so I've got a lot of family from Tuscaloosa, so I've got a bunch of Alabama hats and stuff, and so I was just wearing one because the game was on, and I was like, "What on earth?" That was one of the wildest experiences of my life. I was like, didn't come up and say hello or introduce himself, just tweeted at me and went, "Didn't I see you at JJ's wearing an Alabama hat?" And I was like, "What?"
That's like celebrity status, though.
Well,
People notice you. It's pretty cool.
I'm gonna go the route of Twitter beef naturally, and there's so many. I mean, there's Eric Bolin, there's Jason Kersey, there's the Razorback Twitter account. There's I got blocked by John Daly for a while. I don't know why that happened though. I really don't.
It was one of the assistants. It wasn't you, bro.
Okay,
I
that
got him
makes sense.
unblocked.
Yeah, Will did get me unblocked. There's Kim English. I mean, the list is way longer than even I think it is. Probably, I would probably say the Jason Kersey one is my favorite though. I'm sorry, I hate the guy.
I like Jason. I really like Jason. He's a really good guy if you get to know him. Honest to God.
I believe you, but we went into a Twitter war in like 20. This would have been what, Will? 2018.
It was Brett's last year. I think that was 2017.
2017. That was the early stages of Barstool, Arkansas too. So like, me and Jason just got into it, and it actually like flooded over into my personal, where I would just like tweet stuff at him from my personal account. Like call him like a bald midget, and like called his like award that he like touted in his bio like a fake award, and it was contentious, and then he blocked me finally.
Well, my favorite part was for a while the bio of the Barstool Arkansas account. The location said at Jason Kersey's head.
Yes,
I should point out I like Jason too. But,
he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. He really does not like the brand Barstool, though.
That makes sense. That
not
makes sense. Okay, well, that's my favorite beef, just because I mean that's the one that got the furthest. Like, usually like the beef like develops like for like a couple tweets and then they block me. That one it went on for like weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then finally blocked me. I think that's it. I think that's the last question we had.
Okay, so like if you get blocked, do you count that as like a win?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think so too. Yeah.
I've only blocked one person in my life, and it was Drunk like 2 months ago because he was starting to spout off about how Razorback baseball wasn't that good, and I wasn't going to hear it.
Then Skint, he won.
Yeah, he did. You know what? I'll give him props. He did win that one. But I've been blocked by so many coaches and media members, and I mean, I love it. It's my favorite thing to do. Like to get so far into someone's head that they don't want to see your existence anymore. Are you kidding me? That's the best feeling on earth.
An even better feeling than that for me is I've had the complete 180 happen. So on Bobby Petrino's old Twitter account, he blocked me because I was chirping at him when he was at Western Kentucky, and then he went to Louisville. Blocked me. Deleted that Twitter account. Now he's a football coach at Missouri State, my hometown, Springfield. Now he follows me. So, it's the complete 180 there. That one I kind of enjoy. I got both, Bobby.
Hey, boys, it was another great episode. Shouts out to Ty for joining this degenerate bunch, and we convinced Ty to crack open a cold one. I feel like that's a pretty good win for us.
That was watch Ty show up next week whiskey on his breath. We drove him down this hill.
He's like, yeah, we're living a different life now, boys. But cheers, fellas. Can't wait to do it again next week.
Let's go, boys.